If you listen to Donald Trump and JD Vance talk about all of the horrible things they claim Kamala Harris has done to this country, you would be left with the impression that the vice president of the United States is as powerful as the emperor of the universe. I mean, just listen to Vance during the vice presidential debate against Tim Walz.
What have Kamala Harris's policies actually led to? More energy production in China, more manufacturing overseas, more doing business in some of the dirtiest parts of the entire world. We have a historic immigration crisis because Kamala Harris started and said that she wanted to undo all of Donald Trump's border policies. I don't want people who are struggling with addiction to be deprived of their second chance because Kamala Harris let in fentanyl into our communities at record levels. Iran, which launched this attack, has received over $100 billion in unfrozen assets thanks to the Kamala Harris administration. She's been the vice president for 3.5 years. She had the opportunity to enact all of these great policies, and what she's actually done instead is drive the cost of food higher by 25%.
Afterwards, a college student had to school Senator Vance about what it actually means to be vice president, what the vice president's roles and responsibilities really are. And this is stuff he learned in high school.
I've been to high school civics class. Why did you say that?
Because if anybody took high school civics class, they'd know what the vice president can do and what the vice president can do. I want to make a quick point. Neither candidate on that stage talked about what executive action they're going to take on day one to do what they want, nor were they asked because they know that they can't. That's not how the vice presidency works. You don't get to do what you want. You do what the president delegates you to do.
Donald, of course, never takes responsibility for anything. And on those rare occasions when he actually remembers who he's running against, and that would be Kamala Harris, not Joe Biden, he blames her for everything from an economy that in his own mind is cratering and an invasion of undocumented workers into this country who, at her behest apparently, are stealing our apartment buildings and murdering all of us. Here's a very short list of some of the things that he has blamed Vice President Harris for.
Over the past 4 years, Kamala Harris has unleashed nothing but chaos and suffering for American labor with historic inflation. She let our cities fail to violent gangs. She sent Congress a bill demanding amnesty for all illegal aliens, every single illegal alien, even if they're criminals, even if they're murderers, even if they're drug dealers, human traffickers. She wanted amnesty for everybody. Radical left. This is a radical left person. And it's no wonder that under Kamala Harris, we lost 25,000 manufacturing jobs.
I have to say, it's a little alarming that a guy who actually was the head of the executive branch and is running to be again, and his running mate, who is a sitting U.S. senator and wants to take the job that Kamala Harris currently has, that they do not seem to know what that job is. Shouldn't the two people who want to be at the top of the executive branch know what their job description is? Maybe I'm crazy, but it seems to me that that's sort of the least we could expect. Let's leave all of that aside, though, and instead follow their arguments to their logical conclusion. If Kamala Harris is completely and totally responsible for all the horrible things J.D. Vance and Donald alleged she is responsible for, then isn't she also responsible for all the good things that have happened over the last 4 years? That seems only fair. Not that they're interested in being fair, but if she has caused everything from, as Donald and J.D. Vance claim, a massive invasion of this country of over 25 million undocumented workers who are stealing our housing and murdering all of us in our kitchens to a cratering economy, then she should also get credit for the fact that on Earth One, the economy is doing extraordinarily well.
We're back with some breaking economic data. The U.S. economy added 254,000 jobs in September, which was a lot more than expected. The unemployment rate lower than expected at 4.1%. Joining us now to talk more about this, NBC News senior business correspondent Christine Romans and Investopedia's editor-in-chief Caleb Silver. Christine, let's start with you here. Walk us through these numbers and just how they compare with the previous month.
I had to do like a triple take, and I bet Caleb did too. I looked at this number, 254. This is a lot more than people have been expecting. And when you look at the rest of the year, this is the third highest month of job creation this year in a job market that we thought was starting to sort of decelerate and downshift. So 254,000 jobs, that is a good performance in the economy overall. And the unemployment rate still this very, very low 4.1%. So all of those people who've been worried about high interest rates and a slowing economy, will that damage the labor market? There's not damage in the labor market in this report at all. When you look at the monthly average, 203,000 is the monthly average a month. I mean, come on, that shows you this is well above the monthly average for job performance last month, guys.
That exceeded expectation. That means in total, in the last not even 4 years, they've created over 16 million jobs. The unemployment rate has fallen below 4.1%. These are historic numbers. She should also get credit for the fact that crime rates are down, violent crime rates especially, across the country. Inflation is down. Thank you, Vice President Harris. Good for you. And the stock market seems to break a new record every day. That is the metric that is most important to Donald Trump, and thanks to the Biden-Harris administration, or I should say, thanks exclusively to Vice President Kamala Harris, the stock market continues to be at all-time highs. Well, that is, with the exception of one stock. Can't win them all.